All right, we're going to continue our trip through our toolbox. And thus far through these videos, we've discussed bits, um, different types, how they're ordered, the parts of the bit. Now let's look at one of the things we would use after we've made a hole, or in some cases, during the time that we're making a hole. And one of the first things we'll discuss in this video is our standard Cleco pliers. These Cleco pliers are used regularly, often. They're a type of specialty plier, so you may not have seen them anywhere else because usually only those working structures and installing rivets would need these types of pliers. What the Cleco pliers do is give us the ability to use some of these temporary fasteners, commonly referred to in this case as a Cleco. In this case, we're looking at the standard sheet clamp. Now, how this works is often we need to put two pieces of metal together and temporarily fasten them while we drill holes and while we shoot rivets as our permanent means of fastening. So these sheet clamps simply fit in the pliers. As we squeeze the pliers, it extends the clamps. Then we can use them to temporarily hold our metal in place. Now usually, if I was drilling this piece of metal, I'd have a clamp on each side, and I would select my right bit, drill my hole. Well, as soon as I get a hole made, I like to go to our next handy dandy tool, the actual Cleco. And what these are is they are temporary rivets. Once again, we can install a Cleco by putting it into our pliers, squeezing our pliers, and extending the handle or extending the Cleco to fit into the hole we've made when we drill. Now in this case, I'll align a couple of holes here to show you how this would work. Once we've drilled that hole, we would line everything up and we would install our Cleco. See, our Cleco is another way to temporarily fasten, but I have a lot more trust in this than just the clamps alone. The clamps are great when you have no holes to work with to help you get started, but nothing's passing through the metal, it's just gripping it between the jaws, and it's simply the spring pressure holding your metal together. Well, if I'm going to drill, often that requires a fair amount of pressure on my aluminum, and with clamps only, there's a chance that your holes could shift a little bit and cause misalignment problems. So I use the clamps to get started and immediately start installing the Clecos. Since they pass through the material, they won't let the material slide back and forth, and it's a much stronger temporary fastener. Now, these Clecos come in different sizes, and they're identified by color. Now, all of these have some age. They've worked for a living. But here's our common colors and sizes. If you look at this one here, the silver is for 3/32 or number 3 rivet. The copper color is for a 4/32 or number 4 rivet. This black colored Cleco is for 5/32 or number 5 rivet. And they go up in size and colors. The only color you would see repeat is copper, may show up twice, but the next copper is so much larger that it would be easy to distinguish between the two. Now, if you reference the PowerPoint, you'll see these Clecos sized with hole sizes and colors. And this will be part of your toolbox as we begin to lay out our Cleco pliers, sheet clamps, and our actual Clecos. Now, there are some additional accessories. Occasionally, you can find these little rubber boots. They're designed to go on the end to protect your sheet metal so that while it's installed, it wouldn't rub against the surface of your aluminum. So the rubber adds a protective barrier. It's a very effective, very fast system. It's easy to use. Hope that answers some questions about the Cleco pliers, how to use them, your sheet clamps, and your Clecos. Stay tuned for more videos.